Yo, welcome to Hidden Hands, man. We back with another one, man. We got a very special guest, drum god himself, man. Like,
yes, sir.
The one of the leaders of the new school is what I like to call him, man. You know, he really revolutionized this YouTube stuff, but we're gonna wait to get into all that, you know. My man, TNT in the building with us today, man.
What's up with you, man? I appreciate y'all having me. For sure. Appreciate y'all.
And as always, we got Cruz with me, you know.
Yes, sir. What's good? Man, I was scrolling. I was just saying, I was just getting re-familiar with the catalog. I didn't realize just from the relationship, you know, I never really dug into the catalog. Like, I went on a insane scroll through.
Yeah.
Catalog, legendary.
Man,
it's a lot of joints.
It's been a grind. You feel me? Constant grind though, like just staying consistent with it. It's just, when I think about it, it's crazy because I think about how it came about. It's just like organically just grinding.
Yeah.
You feel me? Building relationships. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah, I can see that because a lot of the records is all like similar relationships that you just go back to, you know what I'm saying, different projects with these folks.
Man, once I lock in with an artist, it's like, man, you gonna get tired of me, you feel me? Like you'll never stop using my beats like because I'm like not working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Once we locked in and I rock with your music, like we locked.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
hard.
So once I get the opportunity, like I don't really take it for granted. Any opportunity I get, like I'm trying to capitalize off of it.
Yeah. Like how do you maintain these relationships? Like, because I know a lot of kids coming up, you know, they may have a certain level of talent or they just trying to figure out, you know, how to be able to build and maintain in that way where you could do 3 and 4 and 5 albums with somebody. Like, what's your feedback on that?
Man, like first, I mean, you know, it got to be organic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I never like any relationship I built with anybody like to where I've done like multiple albums with them.
Mm-hmm.
It was never forced.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just always organic. So like, you know, just don't try to ride the wave. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that artist that you gotta believe in them first. You know what I'm saying? Because that artist that you believed in first, they become the artist that you really want to work with.
Right.
That's how I locked in with a lot of these artists. You know what I'm saying? I worked with them before. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like they become the cool ones. So like, you feel me? I mean, the artists, you know what I'm saying, who genuine, they remember it. You feel me?
Yeah.
So you got to be an A&R and a producer.
Yeah, you got to know, like, man, it got to be like that person may not be it right now, but hey, in a year, you know what I'm saying, that's going to be the person to work with. You
can
feel
see
me?
where it's going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I fuck with that. But
before
we dive into that, because we definitely got a lot to go into today.
Man, it's a lot, man.
So
man,
so how'd you get started, like into producing and stuff?
Man, it was just like by chance. You feel me? Like you know, like my brother used to rap. You feel me? So like I kind of like I knew about FL and I knew about like he used GarageBand. You feel me? So like I was familiar with the programs, but like it was just really by chance. Like I was just, man, like I said, I was about to go to the Army. You feel me? And the Army, they didn't take me. You know what I'm saying? Because I broke my arm, so I guess I couldn't make it like through like the health, whatever. You feel me? So
part of it.
I mean, lucky. You know what I'm saying?
He said, thank
man,
you
feel me, man?
You could have been a soldier out
thank
here.
you,
man.
everybody out there, for their service. But
I appreciate it.
Definitely. Much
love.
love.
For sure, man.
It ain't the first, you know what I mean?
Nah, for sure. So I'm just at my granddad's house, man, just in Tennessee. You know, and like I didn't have any, like I was working at like Cracker Barrel, and he just like, you know, he was just like, might as well just quit. I wasn't making no money, so I was just at the house, and I had like an old laptop I had from school, and man, I already knew about FL, so I downloaded the old FL. You know what I'm saying? Just started making beats, and like before I moved back to South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Then like when I moved to South Carolina, me and a guy from the city, like we had a kind of a song like that, kind of blew up in the city. But you know what I'm saying? Even before that, I started going to school and I started engineering in the city. So like once I started engineering, everybody in the city, that's how my name kind of like got built up. Even before like the producing, like people really wasn't like coming to me for beats. But like
you was strictly engineering. You wasn't dropping beats on them when they would come.
Nah, my beats wasn't there. You feel me? Like
they
were like, it was like, yeah, bro, your beats hard, but it wasn't like now like, yeah, I want you. Like, nah, it was just like they cool, they convenient, but nah, they wasn't hitting on nothing. You feel me? My engineering was crazy. So it was like everybody in the city was just coming to me straight, just like engineering.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then like
you had that sound.
No, for sure. I did like, especially like in the city that I was in.
Yeah.
I was in a little city, so like, you know, I gave you the price, the great price and the quality. You feel me? You couldn't beat it. So like I was just having customers back to back to back. You feel me? So that just built me up in the city, and I just like eventually like engineering like I commend what you do. But it's just like, man, the engineering, it just take a certain kind of patience.
Yeah, it's levels to it.
And I didn't have a patience for it, so it was like the beats was where the passion was at.
Yeah, because engineering in a small town, because you're not engineering something you love or the music that you really want to be a part of, or something that you want to hear and you can add to, then it's kind of it'll burn you out. So I know what you mean, because everybody's. If you're in a small town, you were a Sumter, you said? Like, everybody's not going to be talented. I'm sure there's a lot of talent in Sumter. We see the talent from Sumter coming nowadays.
Sure.
Like, you guys are having y'all run, you know what I mean? You got Java Rat, you got TNT, you know what I mean? You got people who really coming from Sumter. But what I'm saying is the when you're engineering like that, it could probably burn you out. So I definitely feel what you're saying about that. It's definitely different. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So how did you make the transition from engineering to the beats?
Man, like a couple of my boys, like, you feel me, they was doing YouTube already, and they had a bunch of subscribers. So like, you know, if I see somebody do something, I'm gonna follow their lead. You know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, they did what they did to get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they know what they doing. So like, I just really took their lead. You know what I'm saying? I followed their lead. Like, they was already doing YouTube, so I was making the beats, and then like I found my niche. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started posting YoungBoy type beats. You know what I'm saying? And then like YoungBoy, he wasn't really where he was at, but
he was already on the way.
He was on the way.
Go back to the trajectory thing. You said you see where he was headed.
You were early on him.
Loading him up.
And then he just, man, as he started blowing my beats, you know what I'm saying, I was getting 30,000 views in a day. You know what I'm saying? I got YoungBoy beats that got 1 million views, 2-3 million views on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? As he was going up, my YouTube was just growing and growing and growing. So like I eventually made that transition to where like I was making enough money to where like I was comfortable. But I was still working a job too, though. So like I was like, all right, bet.
So you was getting your YouTube checks before you were getting industry checks.
Yeah, like I was getting, you know, like I was leasing. You know what I'm saying? $20 leases, $30 leases, selling exclusives, $5.
Up though.
You know, I mean,
okay.
back then it was like, you feel me, like, cause I was making like $8 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Outback.
Right.
Like when I started back.
Outback? Now we at Outback.
I started working at Outback when I moved back to South Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
Real nigga though, cause
Like,
I'm just saying, cause you you said Cracker Barrel, Outback, you know what I mean? So that tells me you was really about, I'm just gonna go do the work, and you wasn't afraid to do the work and just get the money for it versus you know, some people, I ain't doing that, I ain't doing this, I ain't working here like it, you know what I mean? Like,
man, I'm telling you, I'm talking about, I'm going from like working like to sessions to beats, you feel me? To beats in the morning to going to work.
No sleep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, that's why I be telling people, man, it's just like, man, yeah, you see it now, like it look, but man, the ground was ugly, man. Like it was ugly. It was, you feel me? So man, just making that transition was scary, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, man, you gotta trust yourself to say, these people want to buy my beats consistently enough to where I could live. You know what I'm saying? Recording was easy. I know for a fact I got customers every day. You know what I'm saying? There's always gonna be people that want to rap. No matter if they serious or not, they gonna give me money to rap.
Right. There was a cap to that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't a cap money wise. It was a cap. Like, what could I do? It wasn't. I was just recording. Like, I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't giving them my best. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Got it.
I was just going in the session like, all right, bet. I know for a fact they don't really. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, I was like, they can't really hear the technical stuff. I'm gonna just go in there, press play, record.
No, you right. Yeah, it was one of them. Like, they weren't as talented enough to where like, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
that'll happen though. Like, there be people out here who they get into the studio and they're not actually listening, and you're listening, and you're hearing things, and they're just saying, "Oh, that's dope. Everything's fire. Everything's dope. Everything they do is amazing." Yeah, so it's not on you to convince them, but it also takes the inspiration out of it because you know you could do better, but it's like, now I got to convince this person that they could do better.
Yeah.
It makes it difficult. So,
and then it's like, man, then it's like what I was charging on top of it was just like, man, do I charge more or do I was like, nah, I'm going to just do the beats.
Yeah.
So
that's what I meant by the cap, because I meant if you're working with a certain level of artists around town, you can't hit them for what you might get charged for working with a label artist and stuff like that. So
definitely, man, what I was charging was nothing, man.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, making the transition.
But it wasn't really about the money we see overall in the whole grand scheme of your story.
Nah, like coming up, that's what like really made it good though, because I never really was like, man, I need money.
Mm-hmm.
I never had it. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So like I wasn't really feeling for it. I wanted it, but I wasn't like, man, I need it right now. You feel me? Because like I knew how to survive without it. You know what I'm saying? I survived my whole life without it. So it wasn't like, man, I'm just feeling. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? But like when I was doing the grind, it wasn't just like money. It was just like really, I was just grinding. I didn't know what I was getting at the end. You feel me? I didn't know signing deals and buying houses, and I was just like, man, I don't want to work no job.
Yeah.
You feel me? That was just it. I didn't really
motivation.
I ain't gonna say like I didn't have big dreams, but man, like coming from where I come from, like I didn't imagine. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think like deals and stuff like that. So I was just working.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then gradually I started to see like, all right, bet this work is kind of changing my life. You know what I'm saying? So like, I understand now like the business, you feel me?
Yeah.
But like, when I was working, it was just like grind, you feel me? So like that's what made it so easy.
Yeah.
For real, because I wasn't like the people like people nowadays when they grind, it's just based off of like, I need that money now. I need the money. I need this. I need to change my situation, instead of just saying like, what am I gonna do to change it? You feel me? And then like reap the benefits when I actually deserve it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like people just want it, but they don't understand like what it take. You know what I'm saying?
True. You're right.
It take a lot.
Man, there's no shortcuts, man.
Man, you can't cheat it, man.
You used an interesting word. You said deserve, and a lot of people use deserve loosely. Like it's even a phrase amongst women now where they say you deserve, or hey, go get something to drink. Go out to drink tonight, girl. You deserve. You know what I mean? So that just stuck out to me that you use that as far as getting what you deserve in time and still being able to see your trajectory. But did you come up in a musical household?
Nah. I mean, like I say, besides my brother rapping, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but that don't, you feel me? That don't really count. But nah, like nobody did music. Like, nah, it wasn't.
Y'all wasn't listening either?
I mean, yeah, like, mom, she played music throughout the house.
But
like,
you see, like, how some people are musical people. Like, they like to listen to music. They need it every time they get in the car.
I mean,
every time they clean the house.
Definitely
every time, they need
cleaning
music.
the house, riding in the car,
Right.
waking. It was music, but it wasn't like, did we know like anything about the music? Nah, it was like I liked the music, so I did grow up listening to a lot of music. But like, was anybody musically inclined? Nah, I don't know. I don't even say like I'm musically.
You don't even think so?
I don't even think I'm musically inclined. I learned, man.
Elaborate on that some more though. What you mean by you don't think? Because you got hits out here.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't think you're musically inclined, or you wouldn't categorize yourself as fully musically inclined. Why is that?
It's like I can't tell you how I do it. I mean, I can tell you how I do it, but like, I mean, I don't got the textbook or why. You know what I'm saying? I've just made so many beats and I worked so hard.
Yeah.
And I just developed my sound to where like I just know, you know what I'm saying? I know how to do it, but I can't tell you like the technical why or it just sound good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but okay, you said what I need. You said
sounds good.
You said it. It sounds good. Cruz heard it too. It sounds good. And that goes back to the question I was asking about you growing up in a musical house, because I wasn't referring to people making music. It's because we hidden hands, right? So hidden hands could be a person, hidden hands could be a moment, hidden hands could be so many things. There's so many hidden hands within success. And that's what we wanted to highlight, things that people don't see, the things that help people get to where they got to get to. So I was asking you about that, and you said it sounds good. Yeah. And that's how you get there. That's the roadmap. Like that's your driving, and your destination is it sounds good.
Yeah.
But the reason you are able to do that is because of the music you grew up listening to. Music's already been in you. The stuff your mom played, the stuff that you said, hey, I don't like this, Mom. I do like this song.
Nah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I think this person sucks and that person sucks, or this person's good and that. You know what I mean? And then you encompass that in your music. You know what I mean? And what you do when you sit down and do it. You know what I mean? Because I see a lot of people out here who they don't seem to like to listen to music, but they want to make music.
Yeah.
And it confuses me. I'm sure Cruz has seen that before too. You know what I mean? It
confuses
you.
I could never see that like not listening to music and making it, man. I listen to music 24/7,
you know what I mean?
man.
And it's like, so it was good that I feel like it's good that you pointed that out. That's a very important thing that people need to understand is the music that you like is your starting point.
Yeah.
Is a part of your roadmap in creating.
Yeah, it's inspiration.
Nah, for sure.
What was the moment you realized, like, all right, I'm gonna go full time with this production? Because I know you were hustling both. You had a passion, but like, what was that moment, or like, if it was a day you could remember when something just happened for your producer side where you were like, all right, I'm about to go all in?
Man, I mean, like, it was just kind of like just thinking like, man, am I gonna keep recording and taking up time for making beats, or am I gonna trust in myself to say, all right, bet I may not be making the most money from beats right now, but that's what I really want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'ma just believe in myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I quit. I quit my job. I quit engineering, and one day I just started doing it, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I wasn't in no like great position. You feel me? Like, we was in, like, what you about to say?
I was saying you already had the YouTube up at this time.
Yeah, like I had the YouTube, but you know, the YouTube, I mean, it wasn't really doing.
You wasn't getting the YouTube checks you see.
Nah, it wasn't nothing. Like, you feel me? It was cool, but it was like, man, it was just like, I'm gonna take this chance. You feel me? So I took the chance, and it was just like, you know, I mean, I wasn't in a great situation. You feel me? It was tough. Like, it was tough.
You took the leap, and you were putting your beats out on YouTube, and that was kind of your outlet at the time, right? Because you were still in some. How did that go for you as far as like in the producer world? I'll say,
man, like, as far as like some producers, like, I mean, back in the day, you know, when you was a YouTube producer, like, you know, industry producers kind of like, man, he's a YouTube producer. You know, it was always that battle, that argument, you know what I'm saying, industry producer, YouTube. But then, like, you started seeing certain artists use like YouTube beats. You know what I'm saying? Once artists started using it, now producers like, all right, bet. Because I've seen certain artists that was industry for years, you know what I'm saying, start making YouTubes. You know what I'm saying? Start coming back like years later, you know what I'm saying, trying to make them.
Right. Like who, just off an example? Just
you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say no name. I don't really say never, you know what I'm saying? I've seen it, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just like, I feel you, because it's you know what I'm saying? It's money there, but it's like, man, but like, you know, like artists started using it, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like, I mean, most consistently, like Rod, you feel me?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, Rod
he
definitely
made it.
Was on YouTube beats.
I ain't gonna say he made it. I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to just say that because I'm part of it, but I feel like he made it. He's one of the like people who made it acceptable, because like he was like getting #1 albums with YouTube beats. You know what I'm saying? And like, so then like I started seeing more like artists. You know what I'm saying? Like I got like Lil TJ. You know what I'm saying? Like Pop Smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like placements like that off YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Then you see like Meek Mills. Like he do like, you feel me? What he did like with what was Othello? Or like,
he did
like,
Othello.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Buck
stuff like
Roll.
that. You feel me? So it makes it acceptable, because artists like on his level, like if he's doing it, what's making me not do it? You feel me?
Conversation, because it always happens. It's similar to the conversations happening with AI now. It's similar to the conversations that have happened with the MPC and the Fruity Loops when that transition was happening, or digital versus analog conversations. But if we use an artist like Rod, for example, just because I have the intel, musical guy, he wants to write. He has something to say, and he wants to write the records, and he wants to deliver his thoughts to the people, right? So you sit down with that line of thinking, and then you say, hey, okay, I'm going to wait for this label to send 10 producers in here to play me 100 beats, and then I pick 100 beats versus, then I pick a couple beats or figure out how to fit what I'm trying to get out of my head onto that. Not to say anything's wrong with producers coming to play beats, but I'm just giving a different perspective on, let's say you're at home and you're chilling by yourself, and you're getting introspective with yourself, and you're really in that vibe, in that moment. It's easy to get on YouTube and
any vibe
find something to match what you're trying to say, what you're trying to deliver. You know what I mean? So for it to be that divide there is contradictory to me, because it's about the song, it's about the record, it's about the message, it's about what you're trying to get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But certain artists like, man, he had his beat. But then certain artists like, man, hey, once I get on it, that's my beat.
Yeah.
You feel me? That's how Rod thought about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, once he got on it, it was like, man, you know what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, nobody else gonna do it.
That's the truth, though.
It's just
once you kill a beat,
it's like it's mine now. You feel me?
I've been on both sides. Like, it could get sticky because you know, we had a record that he wanted to try to clear, that Meek wanted to try to clear, and the dude, it was like his top beat that he was making like almost 6 figures, 5 figures, something like that off the beat already, off leases.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we got it. So it was like we were trying to clear it, and they were like, all right, well, you know, he was kind of like hiding behind the company that he was putting the beats up on YouTube and whatever. And so they were basically handling negotiation. And like, long story short, we couldn't clear it because it was just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we just threw it out, you know what I'm saying? Like on a, like as a freestyle. So that's kind of the, you know, playing devil's advocate, you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of the danger as a big artist. Like,
I was gonna say,
sure.
You know what I mean?
It do get sticky sometimes.
It get crazy.
The scenario Cruz just gave, the producer lost
Nah,
in that
for
moment
sure.
because
I feel like
the song didn't get treated the way it probably would have been treated, and then also it didn't go through the business that it would have went through, which in turns the producer lost. Which,
but he was hiding behind people that had the motive of this is one of his biggest making, you know, money making songs, but obviously they're making, you know, a lot of money as well because they're doing it together. Yeah. So it's cool, like, you know, make your money and hustle. But, you know, that's one thing I wanted to get into without harping too much. I wanted your perspective on this from coming from the YouTube world and the money you made in that space to you being a big dog in the production world and you breaking these artists and doing your thing. You respect that come up because you've been in it. But like, can you give that perspective to these kids that, you know, maybe have like a more of like an ignorant view on, well, I'm gonna stay over here because I'm gonna make more money on YouTube than if I were to rock with these artists and sell certain rights and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I feel like, man, I mean, I feel like you could do both though, man. I feel like you just gotta understand when to like even in that situation, like if I had a beat that was like, you know, 1 million views and the artist wanted, man, you feel me, man, let's work, man. Hey, now you got this beat off YouTube, let's continue working, let me get your number. You know what I'm saying? Boom. You know what I'm saying? Use that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong, like YouTube, it depends if what you want. You can continue doing YouTube and just stay straight YouTube, you know, make what you make and continue living. But I feel like you can use YouTube, you know what I'm saying, to like really just get to that. I mean, because when you in the industry, you'll start to see like, man, the YouTube money good, but man, that industry, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, man,
appreciate it.
I done seen.
Appreciate it, because I done made people so much money, bro.
Man,
I just wanted you to tell them from you've been there. So
I done made a lot of money off YouTube, man. But it's like, man, it's like you gotta work. You feel me? You gotta work. Once you put that work in, man, you gonna be like, man.
Bottom line,
you feel me? It take time, but that time pay off.
Have you ever ran into any hiccups similar to like what he was referring to, or maybe not similar?
Man, I ran into
doing the YouTube thing.
I'm trying to think that I run into like, I ran into it was Rod. I know offhand it was Rod and Young and Ace, and it was just kind of like I had to like, man, which song I like more, and I chose Rod. You feel me? It was what was it? Bottom Boy Survivor. Yeah,
glad you chose that.
Yeah, for sure.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, Ace,
all-time favorites.
Yeah, that was one of the situations. It was kind of like I told Ace, I was like, man, like I'll redo it, but you feel me? It's kind of like what it
close,
is.
but I can't.
Yeah, it was like, I mean that, but not. I mean, not to. Then like I used to run in situations. It was my fault though. Like I used to sell the exclusive. You know what I'm saying? So like,
and then not take it down or something, and then end up in somebody else's hand or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man.
You all forget to take it down, and then like
I'm gonna be, man. It was some time, that was me though. You feel me? I take 100% blame for that.
Because I feel like that's a part of the thing that people kind of speak about with the YouTube stuff, or even with the transition of the putting your beats on websites and having a third-party website, internet beat selling, basically. Is that if you come to a studio with an artist and you leave that beat there, okay, I left this beat with this person. I don't have to worry about it getting in somebody else's hands. But then on the internet, it could be this person recorded it, sent it straight to their label. This person recorded it, sent it to their label. And now you're about to get hit up by 2 labels to figure out the business
from
2 separate people,
Right.
That happen often?
Nah, it didn't happen often. Okay. Like, I mean, that's a lucky situation sometimes of being like, dang, you getting big people all like.
Oh, you getting both too. Okay,
to,
okay.
to
So
pick
it's
your
a,
beats
so it's
like
kind
that
of
is
a
like,
good.
yeah,
It's a positive in it too. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, it don't happen too often because you
Yeah.
know, I mean, they not always just picking me. But I mean, yeah, I mean that situation offhand, what I could really think of for real.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But overall, you've been able to navigate it pretty.
Yeah, except when I
good.
was tripping, you know what I'm saying, and selling the
Gotcha.
exclusive. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I was
Yeah.
tripping.
That's definitely.
But I feel like the people that's more effective is the ones that's kind of the come up ones that's just throwing money at leases, or maybe it was the guys that was trying to buy the exclusives and then a big artist come grab it, and now you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's definitely it's a game of chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I definitely respect the hustle. I just want to make that clear. Like, you know, however you gotta get to it, especially on the come up. But what I feel like it go back to of like, because I know you have an amazing team. You got a great manager. You know, you got people that really look out, great legal. And I feel like that's kind of, as you're growing and coming up and trying to figure things out, what you realize is how important your team is and the people that you have around you that protect you to be able to be creative and do what you do.
Nah, for
and
sure.
then, you know what I mean? You have them people that be your buffer to handle all that for you, you know? And I think that's why there's so many horror stories of people that's like, man, I'm going to stay in the YouTube world because I'm going to be more comfortable here than to get into the vicious music business. But if you got people like me or, you know, like your manager or like Jason or whoever, you know what I mean? Like that's out to protect you and that's in your corner. Like you're going to be able to fight, you know, a good fight, you know what I mean? And come out on top.
Another thing I can say, like having a great team, but it's like take the time to learn yourself too.
For sure.
It's like you got to, like that was a, you feel me, big thing I had to realize. Like you can have a team, but it's like you got to know what they doing for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just have them handle it for you. Like, all right, bet. Like what are you handling for me?
Yeah.
So it's like, man, take the time. Like don't be scared. I mean, the industry vicious, man. It's cutthroat, but it's like, what are you willing? You want, like, you obviously want this life. You feel me? Because it's something like, you know what I'm saying? You always want to change your life. It's a certain life you want to live. People want different reasons. People want fame. People want, you know what I'm saying? People want to take care of their families. People, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, you obviously want something. It's like, you gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The industry tough.
It's very real.
It's tough.
At what point did you get a team, and how did that go for you?
Man, I got a team like 6 years ago. Man, you feel me? I mean, man, it's been a road. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, man, we you know what I'm saying, we honest and we open, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's been, you know, it's been a road,
journey.
man.
Okay.
You know, it's been a journey.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about myself over the time, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because the person that I was when I first got with my team, I'm a different person now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they even had to adapt to the person I am
your
now.
growth. They had,
you know what I'm saying?
They had to grow with you.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's just you know, it's a journey, man. Like that's the best way I can put it.
Okay, yeah, listen up.
I
respect that.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
You know, to your point of educating yourself, like that's critical, bro, because even if it's somebody, you might have somebody that got your best interests and you got good legal and the whole nine, like if you don't know what they're saying, but it just sounds good, and then things come back and you be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And you can't go back and double check things yourself.
You feel me? You done signed a contract. Now you wondering like what I done signed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once you sign a contract, I mean, it's you feel me?
You upset with them after that.
And it's like, man, you signed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's your name on it.
I showed it to you,
definitely.
but you the one who got to live with the consequences, not the team.
Right.
So educate yourself, man.
That's
always,
big.
man.
It's audio books and everything. Music business, education books. You know, I got every edition of everything you need to know about music.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
by Donald Passman.
You gotta have that in the house.
That's an audio book now on Apple, so you could listen to it in 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, while you're on the
you know what I
treadmill,
mean?
driving.
And get a good
there's no excuse no more.
scope on the
Nah,
business.
it ain't no
so
excuse, man.
So much
no
information
excuses.
out here. It's really no excuse to go into something blind. And even if you have a team and you're allowing your team to do their job and make decisions and stuff, you definitely have to learn.
Yeah,
Got to, man.
Because it helps you interact with your team better as well, and it helps you
right.
understand what your team is going through.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're not just putting them in it, because it could be reversed. to where you're expecting something from them that's not even existent.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nah,
Right.
you
It's
you
not
right.
even realistic.
You
It's like,
you
no,
all right.
that's not how it
man.
You know what
go.
I mean, there's stuff like that too. So
Nah, for
it's
sure.
definitely, you
Yeah,
know.
that's very real.
definitely
man.
feel
Artists,
that.
producers, everybody should know that. Like,
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I seen somewhere that your first placement was Mike Jones.
Yeah.
The
like,
Mike Jones. Like,
That's hard.
man, legend,
YouTube?
man.
that came from
Yeah.
YouTube.
It was not. Matter of fact, it was YouTube. It was on SoundClick first,
Okay.
and then it was on YouTube. I forgot what type beat it was, man. But man, yeah, it was like, to me, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, you feel me? That was, man, legend. You know what I'm saying? Listening to him, like, I mean, you feel me? For the time he was out, he was hot.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he
So
was.
like back then, man, that was
Yeah.
that was
He was
crazy,
revolutionary
man.
with that phone number, man.
running
He
around
was-
the house, man. I'm
he
talking
was-
about.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was a big thing. You feel me? Like just off the internet,
He
man.
was like viral before viral.
Man, he was big.
Jones was
yeah,
Big time.
back in the day, that was exciting though. I ain't gonna lie. For
Yeah,
sure.
you was turned. You was happy about that.
Yeah, I
one.
was turned.
Nah, I
man.
feel you.
That was a moment.
It's people like that because it's people like that you'll work with throughout your career, or you'll come across and you'll be kind of excited about it. Like, but it's not even exciting. Like, it ain't gonna do the damage on your resume. Like, it ain't gonna.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
it's
Bring
like
people
personally,
in.
man.
But
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah,
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 them
yeah.
be the ones.
Check that
man.
off the list.
Nah, for
Definitely,
sure.
bro.
Yeah.
Them be the ones, man. It's a few like that for me out here that I've been like, yo, this dude right here,
Yeah.
y'all don't know what he did, and they be
Yeah.
like, yo, like, he's cool. But this guy, I'm like, no,
Right.
this is the, you know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's really, I like that.
What's
I
the
like that.
favorite? What's your favorite placement you ever got? Like your favorite record?
Man.
You don't
I gotta-
gotta. I mean, listen. I know
gotta
he's
give-
sitting right here, but
I
you
gotta
don't gotta.
give one. I can't. I gotta give at least like 2 or 3.
All right, give your top three. I'm gonna make it
Top
yeah,
three,
give your top
man.
3. Your top.
Top-
Yeah, we won't get him in trouble.
Yeah.
Top 3, man. It gotta be. Sheesh, man. No order.
Nah, it's all
Off
good.
rip, Nevada and by your side. Nevada by your side. Street Runner. Like
Okay.
them gotta be them like them forever. Like
Yeah.
them songs, them 3 songs right there. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm proud to say, like, man, I feel like I did something.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? For real.
That's what's up.
Got you, man. Do you feel like coming from YouTube and coming from how you basically kicked the door down for yourself and kind of, you know what I mean, forced your way into the industry? Do you feel like the industry has accepted you?
Man, I feel like sometimes, but like I overthink a lot. So like
Mhm.
I feel like I'm not really in a circle with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But then again, like I say, I mean, it's probably like the artists I work with. You know what I'm saying? Because all the artists I work with are just to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of producers connect by the artists. You know what I'm saying? Because say like somebody works with an artist who's connected with a lot of artists. Now, you feel me? They're naturally just like in a circle, just all, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, connecting.
It shines a
You know
light
what I'm
on
saying?
that producer. in a
Yeah.
sense.
So like the artists I work with, they don't even like to shine a light on themselves. You know what I'm saying? They're
Mhm.
big, but they're private. You feel me? So it's
Yeah.
like they don't even want to. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's
I see
like
what you're saying.
it's harder. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like if I I feel like that's where the disconnect comes because some of the artists I work with are disconnected.
Mm.
So like I feel like they kind of like alienates me a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I
That
mean,
makes
you know, artists, I mean producers, I feel like, you know, I mean, they respect me. You know what I'm saying? They know like they seen like the work I put in, they know like people can't really say anything that I've done anything, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
to anybody. So it's like I don't know, man. I feel like I just gotta get a hit like one of them top 10 number ones, and then
Man,
they ain't
you
got
touch
no
the
choice.
culture, bro. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got to give yourself some credit, man. Like
Yeah,
I
Nah,
said,
for sure.
you
that was an
definitely gotta
unlimited
give-
scroll. No lie. Go to his
Yeah.
Genius profile, TNT
Yeah.
XD, and you're gonna be scrolling for days.
Where does the name TNT XD come from?
Yeah, how'd you
Man.
get the XD on there? Because I'm trying
Man,
to
it was
figure that
crazy.
out.
So my brother used to rap. I just had to call myself something, you feel me? So it was just like, man, I don't even know where TNT, like, it didn't even come from nothing. Like, I was like, I'm gonna call myself TNT.
Okay.
And then, like, my boy, like, you know, before emojis and stuff came,
Mhm.
like, the smiley face, little X and the D, it was like the little.
Oh yeah.
I just seen him put it one day, and I was like,
Mhm.
man, that look hard at the end of TNT, because there's already a TNT.
Right.
And I was like, I need something to put different. I just put it at the end. Like, literally, that's how it came. And then one day,
Okay.
somebody sent me a collab back, and it had the N lowercase. And I was like, I'm just make it TNT, like lowercase N, XD. Like, I wish I had like a crazy story, but that's really, man.
Nah, that's cool.
I usually be like, man, I don't even know, but that's literally like 100%.
Okay.
That's how it came.
Who's doing the tag? Whose voice is that on your tag? Is that Southside?
Man,
Somebody say it's Southside.
nah.
Okay.
I used to engineer.
ChatGPT told you that?
Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Nah,
somebody told me that though. You
that
right.
would been hard. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
well, like, man, I ain't never tapped in with him. Like,
Okay.
I used to record. So, like, I was recording dude on Smoke Gambino. He's from Colombia. You know what I'm saying? He got a voice. You feel me? So, like, we was like, I made a beat, boom, boom, we was recording. And he said as an ad-lib in the beginning. And I was just like, that sound kind of hard. Like, I tried it one time, and my boy was like, man, keep that. I'm like, man, nah, he was like, keep it. I kept it, man, and it just literally.
You just said, I'm gonna listen to you.
I'm telling you, like, he was like, man, keep it. And like, that first placement, and it's just like, I feel like without my tag, I feel like I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that it make it, but it's just like, man, that before my face, I walk in, they be like, oh, I know you.
Stamp.
You know what I'm saying? Because of that tag, because a lot of people never really seen me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they like, man, oh, I know you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you, but oh yeah, we know you for sure.
Right.
Yeah, so without that tag, man, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I always forget to take out the shit in the tag. Like, so let's say I'm doing a clean version or something.
Yeah.
I always forget, and they be hit back like, oh, you got to take the shit out the tag. I be like, oh yeah, you right.
Nah, for
right.
sure. I see you the clean one, man. You ain't got.
Yeah, you got to do the clean.
I'm gonna save you the trouble.
He probably got it by now.
Yeah, definitely.
Nah,
definitely.
for
I
sure.
need it. I need that clean one.
Nah, I got you.
Yeah, pipe that up TNT. You feel me?
Nah, for sure.
But nah, that's dope though. That's dope though. But it's a lot of controversy around tags and stuff. So it's cool that you said that. Well, it's not a lot, but you know it can be because tags can get cumbersome in the beginning of records when it's like a bunch of people.
And then like sometimes like man, you gotta know like sometimes man like I know like because the thing with me I don't care like if we gotta understand it, it's like certain times I'll be in a room man I'll make a beat with 6 people just cause like these are my boys we just cooking you feel me on some like but I know at the end of the day like these people like when it comes like paperwork time everything cool so like we just cooking but like I know like man we got 5-6 people in here we not about to just throw our tags on there you know what I'm saying like you gotta just leave it tagless you know what I'm saying sometimes
there's a hierarchy in there like all right man you did this your tag don't get to be on there
sometimes like man if it's like 4 people like man sometimes people like man just leave it off leave mine off. You know what I'm saying? We'll put, because it's like, man, we not about to put, why mess up the chance of a placement instead of just, you know what I'm saying? Just already getting
everybody tags.
6 boys.
Four tags, man. It's just,
it's kind of crazy.
Get tough.
Because I know we got one unreleased. I'm trying to think if your tag is on it, but I know Nick's tag is on it.
Man.
I think it's the,
I don't think mine was on there.
It wasn't on there, right?
Nah.
But it's like one of them situations, like, man. I forget how that part of it happened, but I know, man, I hope the record come out because I talked to bro. I hate talking in code, but I talked to him. He said he was ready to put it out, but we were waiting on somebody to do a video. And
nah, for sure.
So we gotta, but that in that situation, does that bother you? Like that your tag ain't on it?
Man.
Somebody else's tag is on it?
Man, hey, I hope the record drop, man. That's man, it is my tag, man. Hey, I'ma post it, man. They already gonna know what's up, man. I hope the record drop. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it, man.
Nah, for sure.
Was being a producer in the music industry, was it what you thought it was gonna be?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Cause like I didn't really like coming from where I come from, I didn't have like no industry like friends. I didn't have no musical like knowledge. I didn't have none. So it was like only thing I had was like what I seen on TV and what, you know what I'm saying, what you thought like, oh, you know what I'm saying, what I thought, like what you see on TV like fake, you know what I'm saying, reality.
Yeah.
I didn't have no thoughts of what it would be like. So, but did I think it was gonna be this? Nah. Like it's nah. Cause
that's
like,
on the good and the bad side.
good, yeah, definitely like good and bad. Like it's like good. I would have never, you know what I'm saying? Like I know I was a hard worker. I know like I had the talent, but did I imagine this? You know what I'm saying? Like like even like you feel me when we start off, you know what I'm saying? You like, you know what I'm saying, when it leaves a new school, I'm like coming from where I come from, you feel me? Like I'm one of those people like that's still humbling because I'm like, man, me, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy to me. So you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I mean, but the bad, and it's the bad come with it.
Yeah.
Everything can't be sweet, man.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, how often do you hit the studio? Do you go to the studio every day? Do you make 10 beats while you're in there? Do you make 1 beat while you're in there? Do you make, you know what I mean?
Man, this and like I had to realize too, like once I actually like became a producer, like I always wondered, like as artists, like, well, why don't artists drop 1,000 songs, or like why don't artists record sometimes? Why are artists like doing stuff besides recording? And I had to realize, like, man, we are people. You feel me? Like, so it's like, man, it's sometimes when I make 15 beats, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I make 10, but it's sometimes, man, I look and I won't make a beat in 3 days, you know what I'm saying? Just because life. So, I mean, I don't really say I got a schedule. I go to the studio any, like, specific days. Just like, man, I wake up and I just like, man, I'm not really an outside person like that anyway. So it's like, I wake up like, man, I want to go to the studio to get a different vibe.
Right.
But I don't really got a schedule.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because life, I mean, I try to go by as much of a schedule as I can. But, you know, I mean, stuff, you know, as a producer, it changes up so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, like, nah, I mean, I don't really have a strict schedule. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, man, I get in that mode. I'm like, man, 10 beats, 15, 20, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom.
Right.
Because you just said you people. You said we're people, right?
Yeah.
So how, what bring you to that realization? Like what bring you there to where it's like, okay, I need to, because what I took from what you were just saying was some days you take time for yourself. Some days you maybe just go live life and, like, you know what I mean?
Nah,
and
for sure.
Just sit in the studio 24/7, you know?
Nah, I'm still learning that though. But like just like life, you know what I'm saying? Just understanding, like, cause like when I was grinding, it was just like, man, I took pride in, like, oh, I'm gonna be in the studio for 5 days straight in the dark, you know what I'm saying? I ain't coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all ain't about to see me for 5 days. Like, oh, I've been grinding, you know what I'm saying? I ain't like, I took pride in that, but then I had to realize, like, you know what I'm saying, not just because I better my situation, or I made, you know what I'm saying, my financial situation might be better, or I didn't change it because of that. I changed it because I had to realize, like, man, you may miss out on certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might just miss out on life. You know what I'm saying? Because don't get me wrong, you could have $1 million, but you'll look back and you 40 and like, I didn't even live life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be 20 again. You know what I'm saying? You can't be 30 again. You feel me? And it's like, I look back when I'm like, man, like when I was 18, I was 20, 21, 23. Like, man, I wish I would have did this. You know what I'm saying? You can't go back. You feel me? You can't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost 30, so it's like, as much as I wish I could go back, and like, you gotta move forward. So it's like, man, find that balance.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't talk about that in the music industry. We have a lot of, it's almost like you just said, we take pride in sleepless nights and staying up for 24/7,
Nah, for sure.
putting these type of strain on our body and stuff. And like, you get lyrics like what Kanye said, 5 beats a day for 3 summers. You got people out there who gonna try to, okay, well, I gotta do 10 beats a day for 3 summers. Kanye did that. Or Lil Wayne, remember Lil Wayne? He had a moment where he used to record every day, all day.
Nah,
and
for
everywhere
sure.
he just recording, so it made it look like you want to be a rapper. You just got to record all day, every day, every day. But then, as an artist, these people you don't live your life, so you don't have nothing to rap about.
Nah, for
you know
sure.
what I mean? And then with production, I feel like it's an energy. So if you're just in there and you're just draining that same energy, come from that same perspective, you got to go out and live and get the new energies and get the new perspective on records and hear new stuff and live life. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't really encourage that. You know what I mean? They'll encourage the opposite. Like I just said, they'll encourage lock yourself in the room.
Nah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And just stay in there and just, you know what I mean? And just give your life up to this, and then hopefully you make it. You know what I mean? And then
you look by, like you look like back, and like it's just so much time to pass you by. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even if you do make it, it's just like, man, I made it at what cost. You know what I'm saying? So
you gotta enjoy your own fruits of the labor. But there's a part of a success that we do for others. You know what I mean? That other people are like, because I always had this perspective on success. I've always looked at it like TVs in the headrest, which was, I'll elaborate, like TVs in the headrest. When I was growing up, when we were kids, remember Mike Jones? We just talked about Mike Jones, Houston. They always had the TVs in the headrest and all that stuff. But my thinking was, well, if you put TVs in the headrest and it's your car, that's not for you. It's for somebody else because you're going to be in the driver's seat and you can't watch the TV. And I look at success kind of the same, similar. Like there's a lot of your successes are going to be enjoyed by the people you love and the people around you. And the people who are in the back seat who could watch the TV that's in the headrest. Versus you just in the front driving the car, and then how often you sit in the back. I've only been in the back seat of my car like 2 times.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's all about that balance, man.
That's what it is. Like that balance, man. That balance is important, man. But I know it's hard to, it's hard to it's hard to tell somebody when they're grinding.
It's hard because of the culture of the industry. Like, I remember we were talking before, and I was telling Cruz about this story before too. We was cracking up because we've all been through it. But I was working with Christina Milian. She was trying to do music, and I was recording her. And we had just kind of hit off. We met through this guy named Shakespeare, this producer named Shakespeare. And then I started going to her studio, and and it was like 3-4 days, I'm recording. And then I had this trip for my dad to come in town, and my dad lives in Baltimore, and he came down to Atlanta to visit me. So they called me to the studio, and I went, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. I went that day, whatever, didn't get to kick it with my dad. But then the next day we had a family dinner planned. So I'm at the dinner, and they call me again and say, hey, we need, Christina Milian wants to record, and I was like, well, I'm at dinner. I got something to do with my family tonight. I can't make it. And I ain't never heard from them again. Like, they was just...
That's how it is.
You know what I mean? It was just it was like the next day, it wasn't tomorrow. Wasn't. So with that psychology being put on people to where it's like, okay, next man up. If you're not ready to do it, it's the next man up who will do it. A lot of times it takes a strong will. It takes a strong skill. It takes a strong will. It takes you believing in yourself. It takes so many things for you to sit there and say, hey, I'm going to stand on my skill set. If you call me back, you call me back. If you don't, you don't. But I'm going to be good regardless because I got to take care of me. You know what I mean? And it's very difficult to really, like, that's not a mentality that's pushed. You know what I mean? Like, they'll drain you in the music industry.
And then, once they can't use you no more, man, they move on to the next.
Yeah, and moving on.
That's just the reality, man. So it's like, man, you got to make sure you straight. Got to.
You got to.
You definitely got to be. I mean, as you're grinding and trying to come up, but I feel like you do have to be prepared for a lot of sacrifice.
Yes, you do.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once you do become established, once you do establish your name and relationships and things like that, I think it becomes a little easier to create that balance for yourself. But unfortunately, the way the game is, you gotta. It's gonna be a lot of sacrificing.
Because it becomes a catch-22.
Yeah.
To where, like you just said, you gotta, in the beginning, there was times where, no, I'm gonna leave at any time you hit me. I'm gonna go to the studio. I'm gonna be there. I have cleared my entire life for the next 3 years to be in the studio. Or 3 years plus to be in the studio every day, daily, from 1 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Right.
Every day, really learning this and really doing it. So it's a balance, man, because you don't want to just be turning down opportunities in the beginning. I wouldn't recommend that unless you know where you're trying to go.
I mean, it's like, man, like you say, but it's like how you gonna tell somebody who grinding to turn down something? You feel me? So it's like, man.
Exactly.
Man, it's tough, man.
Exactly, because you got to sleep with that. Like me, I had to sleep with that call wasn't coming back. Like I had to sleep with that.
The way you look at it is like, are you gonna go back to the corporate hustle, or are you gonna grind it out and be a contracted employee, subcontracted employee? Like that come with a whole different level of
for sure. It do.
You know what I mean? So
like the Chinese restaurants on Christmas.
Right,
always open.
Back. All right, man. So it's about that time. Trav, you know what time it is. Time to get the lawyer on the phone, man.
Yeah, let's get the lawyer on the phone, man. Let's talk about it.
So basically, this is the part where we get our lawyer on the phone to touch on some topics in the business that, a lot of our followers or people that we've seen online talking about a lot, things we deal with, and just let them, from the legal perspective, kind of touch on it. You know what I mean? So we're going to go ahead and call my man Jason.
Yo.
JB. Got our guy TNT with us.
What's up with you, man?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Can't complain. How you doing?
Good. We recently got connected through a mutual colleague as well.
Jason, man, today we want to touch on like the YouTube producer space is really hot, especially like in our camp. You know, my guy's been getting inspired from YouTube beats, and a lot of them end up being affiliated with platforms like BeatStars and whatnot. So wanted to get your perspective on this, because a lot of this, it's been happening for a while, you know what I mean? But just to get your perspective from the legal aspect of some things to be careful for, when dealing with these types of situations where they're leasing to thousands of people and things like that. If you could kind of just give us like the high level of things to be careful for in that space.
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, it's from a producer's perspective, the hardest thing is to keep track of it, right? Because a lot of times, depending on the platform, you're leasing it based on a certain set of terms, which is the license. And to be able to police that license, there's really no back end mechanism, at least that I know, that those platforms also offer. That'll allow you to track it. Now, I've been made aware of some recent stuff that will allow you to, in effect, like tag your beat, like geotag it, so you can kind of trace where it is in the marketplace and how many finished songs have used that and have are out for distribution using that loop or that sound or that beat. So I think that's a helpful tool that technology now offers, and I think there's a number of things in the works that are similar. So at some point the gap will be bridged, but for now I think the biggest challenge is, how do you police those license terms? And it becomes very difficult and almost too cumbersome, which is like, what's the point then of the platform and the volume game if you're spending so much time, you know what I mean, trying to police these licenses.
Right.
I think the other thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, real quick, because I do want you to finish your thought, but I wanted you to touch on the beats that in particular have like heavy samples. How does that work where you're able to lease it to thousands of people, where we know how that goes in terms of the clearance process and how much of a headache and the numbers involved, and you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, you basically get what you pay for. You're not getting the representations and the warranties that come with a typical producer agreement when you buy out the master side of it, whatever the terms wind up being. So you kind of get what you pay for, and you take whatever is in that. So if you go ahead and buy that beat, or lease that beat, I should say, and ultimately embody it into a finished song and put it down, and someone then files a takedown because there's a sample in it, you'll have to deal with that. You don't really have recourse in most instances. Now, I know some of the subscription-based platforms, you run much less of a risk, because those do come with certain representations and warranties that they make the user uploading the sound or the beat agree to be a part of the platform, and to allow them to get a portion of those subscription fees. So I think the best advice and the thing that helps, not just in the leasing side, but when anytime you're utilizing those sound banks, I think those subscription-based models are the easiest way to go. Not that they're foolproof, but I think it allows me and other lawyers to at least now adapt to that, understand that producers are using those regularly, and we've kind of figured out mechanisms to make sure things like it's actually that producer's account, so the license therein is transferable, and everything that you would typically need as the artist or the label when acquiring at least the exclusive rights to something like that.
And these platforms you're talking about, like Splice, TrackLib, things like that, like services like that, right?
Yeah. Okay. But even with them, I just implore everybody just to be super careful. Read the terms and conditions 2 and 3 times, because I've been a part of things that are advertised royalty free, and on a cursory read of the terms and conditions, it leads you to believe that you may owe some modest publishing or anything like that. We then go clear the record, the label's ingesting it, and they run it through their technology, which now picks up pretty much everything, and you have a problem, and now you got to justify why that should be approved sample versus an unimproved. Right. And I think you guys are at least here, all familiar with the differences in terms of how that could play out, dollars and cents, if it's approved versus, it's not. And ultimately, if there's any reduction, it falls on your shoulders.
And when it comes to these sites, have you ever experienced, because sometimes people will talk about like, they'll say, oh, you signed up and did the terms of agreement in the beginning. They own some of your beat that you're selling to people, or or the subscriptions and stuff like that. Like, have you ever seen something like that where a website will sell your beats for you, but they also own a piece of the beat?
I've not come across that. I think that's more, deeper dives into the internet to go to find sites like that.
Okay.
Most of the ones we've come across are the bigger names that Cruz mentioned.
Okay.
That are customarily used even at the highest level. I mean, there's nothing. People used to think it was skipping the line or there's something wrong with it. Man, if you guys can make your lives easier by having this bank of sounds and resources, God bless. It's just when it comes to clearing it, how do we then maneuver? Because a lot of it is new and a lot of the terms and conditions aren't super clear. But, that's why I always go back. If I run into a problem, and I think those sites, at least the reputable ones that are worth investing a little time into the relationship, could do better. My office sends them an email and tells them, listen, we ran into this problem. I think if you did this with your terms and conditions, that perhaps that could be alleviated on the future stuff. Because big everybody's using that stuff. It's not just the guys that are leasing their beats out. I mean, even guys on this call, we've all been a part of clearing records that had those sounds in, and for good reason. It made them sound the tracks sound amazing. So.
Yeah, I'm dealing with it now.
Yeah, I would say we've all been there.
Yeah, splice sample that's going through the pipeline.
Yep.
So.
Gotcha.
And some of them have become even more challenging because and it clearly says there will be royalties owed, and that's mostly on the master side. But then you have certain tiers, so it's like I can get it, but then trying to relay that to the artist lawyer, who then have to relay that to somebody at the label in order to get ultimately what we want and have it be deemed approved, is still like pulling teeth.
Right.
Because there's the tier structure, and if it's in tier 1, then you owe them, 12% of the master royalty or the net royalty. If it's tier 2, then you owe them 5%, and it's like, even though it's pretty simple math,
Wow.
You know how those label folks are.
It's crazy.
Royalty season, we're dealing with a lot of numbers and
yes, sir.
statements and conflicts, so I'm in the thick of it. I feel like twice a year I'm like an accountant come tax time with this stuff. I digress.
No, listen, hey, we'll talk offline, but appreciate your time always, man.
Yeah,
and,
appreciate you.
Of course, appreciate you guys for having me.
People.
TNT, welcome to the gang. Hope your experience is amazing, and we'll all talk soon. You guys enjoy.
All right,
appreciate
man.
you.
Thank you, JV. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Sure.
See ya.
Thanks, man. Peace. Really digging in on your come up story, and we tied in some of the mental health things that you have to go through in this game. You're hustling and grinding, and one of the things we really like to do is get into people's rock bottom story, like those moments that where you just feel like you just ready to give up, and it just, things wasn't working out in your favor, and you've been putting in this work, and you felt like you deserve certain things, and we just want to motivate people that may be going through similar situations, because I know we all have them moments, you know what I mean?
Nah, for sure. I mean, see, like, for me, it was like easier though to like deal with those situations, because like, coming from having zero, when I lost it, it was like, man, I mean, it was a bad feeling, but it was like, man, I've been here before.
Right.
I mean, it was like, I ain't gonna say it was comfortable, but it was like, all right, bet. So I know what to do.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, one of my moments where it was just like the lowest was like, I say when I was engineering and my laptop broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my income. You feel me? And like, we wasn't in a position where, you know what I'm saying, like I had anybody I could like fall on. You feel me? The income was me.
Right.
So like, once my laptop broke, it was no recording. And I was in a city where like, I had a Mac. So it was just kind of like nobody in the city knew what they was doing. So I just took it to shop and just try to get it fixed.
Right.
And it was like, man, 2 months went by, like no income. You know what I'm saying? I didn't quit my job and all, but like now, so
Right.
This is my income.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm calling like, friends and like family, you know what I'm saying, for like food, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
that, like, it got there, you know what I'm saying? But shoot, once I got the laptop back, I did what I did, but you know what I'm saying, that was a moment where it was just like, man, I took that chance and
Right.
I wasn't prepared for this hiccup, you know what I'm saying? But you don't panic, you feel me? You just keep working, you know what I'm saying? So
that's real. Like that's everything just that fast can just disappear.
Man,
like
that's why I always stay
did.
humble, man, because I know at the end of the day, it's like, man, I want to be, you feel me? I want to be the same person. I want to know, like, if I lose it all tomorrow, I got people that love me because I was so genuine to them.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because at the end of the day, like, man, ain't nothing promised. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could lose it all. Anybody could lose it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, you feel me? All them people who you was like, you know what I'm saying, genuine to, like, that's going to remember that really going to love you for you, no matter what you got. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah. Not to take you back to these bad feelings, man. But when the laptop broke, like can you paint the picture though? I just need to know, like, you was in a session, or you just woke up one day about to do a session, or they was walking through the door.
It was my fault. I was recording, like, I had an old, like, it was Full Sail sent me a laptop.
Yeah.
So I was running Pro Tools. Like, I was running thousands. You know what I'm saying? I was running sessions on a laptop that wasn't built for it. You know what I'm saying? It just got eventually it just got to the point where, like, I was recording, like, it was just freezing. I was like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I took it because I thought it was just like the fan, you feel me? Because it was just getting real hot. So I took it. Then it was like, oh man, it's the motherboard. Then this or that, and it just like kept being more and more problems. And I'm just like, man. I'm like, man, hey, I understand, but this ain't.
I just need this.
This ain't just no
cool.
laptop. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
I got this my job, man. Y'all telling me I brought it in for a fan. Now it's a motherboard. Like, so it was just like, man, it was bad, man. Then I got everybody in the city like, bro, like, man, what's up? Like, everybody, you know what I'm saying?
They on your head.
They on my head. I'm like, man.
That's crazy. So you had to use the laptop. Like, there wasn't really no studios like that out there that had like proper setups, huh?
Nah, it was like, man, I had to use a laptop because like I couldn't afford nothing else. Like, I got blessed with the laptop because I went to Full Sail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, man, use what you use. But I didn't have the knowledge that I had. Like, I didn't understand that it was like, man, you killing. I didn't really get it. You know what I'm saying? But I was killing my laptop. So
I'm
talking about, man, I ran a lot of sessions off of it, man.
Just in there loud as still sound like the air conditioning.
Man, I'm telling
you.
Did you like, what's your perspective? Because I graduated Full Sail, and I'm just curious, like, your perspective on the program. Like, do you feel like that type of education is necessary? Did you learn enough to make it make sense?
And I went online though, so like, I don't want to sway nobody because I went online, but like, for me, they taught me how to, you know what I'm saying? They taught me how to be organized. You know what I'm saying? They taught me certain, but I mean, how can you really get a full experience online?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it's 2023. I'm not going to like tell nobody not to go to school, but it's like, man, you know what I'm saying? It costs.
You can learn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, man,
it's so pricey.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, if you in a situation where you're like, man, I just can't. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? YouTube, hitting people, you know what I'm saying, books and all that. You feel me?
Right.
So I mean, it's Full Sail for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they're, you know what I'm saying, they're official for a reason. So I wouldn't tell nobody not to. It was just like, my experience wasn't the best because I went online.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in person, so I had a different experience. I'm not gonna lie, like, I made a major sacrifice to go there, so my experience was like all or nothing.
Yeah.
So I had a different, my thing was different. Like, I was like, literally, this has to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, if you have that attitude, if it's like something that you're willing to invest that amount of money into, that you're really like, this is what it is. After I graduate, I'm hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
Go.
Before
If you're halfway,
before you graduate, you hit the ground running.
Nah,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure.
Like,
That's what I'm
during
saying.
school,
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Cruz is right. He's absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Otherwise, it's like,
how long was your program?
1 year.
1 year. Yeah, I did a 1 year program at LARS, LA Recording School, and it's owned by Full Sail as well.
Okay.
But it's in LA, so it was 1 year, and definitely by the time I was looking to have, I had a gig before I graduated. You know what I mean? Because I was just on it right away, like, okay, y'all teaching us this, I'm gonna try to go, you know what I mean, do this. Like, So it's definitely a thing. If you need schooling, you know, because it's like I look at it like like a mechanic. Like it just teaches you the parts of the car. It teaches you what's under the hood. But
Nah, for sure.
if somebody pull a car into your garage and say, "Hey, my car's doing this," it still takes experience to be able to diagnose that car and just do it real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You still need on-the-job training for sure.
So you definitely need that going to school. But there's nothing wrong with school. I think but it's nothing wrong with also the information's everywhere now.
Nah,
like,
for sure.
It's everywhere. So you can get the information. I think that's what you were kind of saying.
Yeah.
So
If you have an issue getting in, or if that's just not the route.
Yeah, I still can't believe that they deny people at Full Sail, bro. That
They
trips,
do.
that
I've
trips
heard.
me
Yeah,
out.
we had.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
one of our guys, Reek. He said they had an issue depending on like your criminal background and stuff like that.
I didn't know they deny you for real. I thought they just took
They
everybody
like,
for
I
real.
almost didn't get in, but it was
Stop
a money
that
thing.
shit, y'all.
Nah, for sure.
Stop that shit there.
Yeah.
Y'all don't be denying nobody.
Yeah.
Like y'all the Ivy League school.
I want to get into these 5 questions, right? We're gonna give you a minute each topic.
rapid
Nah,
fire.
for sure.
Rapid fire. My guy Jordan's gonna keep us on time.
Nah, let's get it.
First thing, it's a hot button topic. Everybody's talking about it. How do you feel about AI? Do you think AI is gonna take out producers? Do you think like it's over for us? You know, because we in the beginning of it, really. If you think about it, you think as it gets more advanced, it's a wrap.
You have any fears of AI?
I mean, it's scary, man. Like it's real, but I mean, like, you know, can you create that organic feeling through AI? You know what I'm saying? Like an artist, they like artists because they like what they're saying because it's coming from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, will you really hear? It's certain artists that just got a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Are you listening to? You know what I'm saying? Even, you know what I'm saying? Are you listening to a Rod? Are you listening to a Meek? Are you listening to a Drake? That's AI. You're listening to them because what they say is like feeling. So nah, I mean, it's scary, but man, it's like, I mean, like, nah, I mean, come on, man. Like,
It's gonna be all right.
Man, we gonna be straight,
Terminator
man.
shit over
We
here.
gonna be cool, man. It's cool though. I mean, it's cool. It's cool for what it is, but I mean, not for like, you know, I mean, like don't wild out with it. But I mean, it's cool just to actually, like, the technology is crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely get familiar. Don't neglect it where you just not educated on it or
yeah,
can
but
move around in that world, you know?
Did you ever fuck your money up when you first got in?
man, did I when I first got in, man?
You
Man,
blow
we
a check or not?
being real, man. I can't even feel. I ain't gonna say what I sound for.
Don't say the number.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't say numbers.
the numbers.
My first deal, like my first deal, I ain't gonna say I blew it, but I just, you know, I mean, come where I come from, you think you know money till you get it.
Right.
And it's just like, man, you see so much money and you just like, oh, I got it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, boom, boom. It just starts, and you just like, you know, you don't know nothing about investing.
What you bought? What was the
Man,
purchase?
I mean, you know, I mean,
What you blew it on?
I mean, I got jewelry, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you jumped out the
I got a little
the
bit,
ice
you know what
box
I'm saying?
right
Boom.
away.
Like the bussy.
I got my chain from Icebox, got tagged.
You
You
with the
Okay,
ice
okay.
know what I'm
box
saying?
right
I'm talking
away.
about with Icebox, man. Like, you could, like, I'm from the trenches, man. That was like,
Right.
Yeah, you
that
had
was
to
a
shine.
big deal.
Like,
like, you feel me? That was something from, like, that was for the, you
hey,
feel me? That was
I
for the
feel
city,
you had
man.
to shine
Like,
now.
right.
Nah,
So it's like,
and there's nothing
man.
wrong with making mistakes with your money and being. That's how you learn. You know what I mean? You gotta learn.
Man, what do you think about like viral? I won't like go specific on an artist or a record, but like, what do you think like when there's like songs that you could take as a joke or that like that go viral and that end up catching? Like, what's your perspective on that side of the business? Like, does it bother you?
Nah, like, I never been bothered by what, you feel me? It's just like, man, get your, you feel me? Like, I mean, you gotta understand, like, I mean, realistically, a lot of the music ain't gonna stay around. But it's
Right.
like, man, how can I be mad at somebody for coming in and changing their life
Yeah.
off of what they know? I mean, let's be honest,
Mm-hmm.
everybody can't be, you know what I'm saying, that level. So it's like, that's just what they come in, they change their life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It may not be, I mean, but the artists have to be realistic with themselves sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it may just be that one song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
One and done.
I don't got no problem with it, man. Get your money. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Like, but it's like, yeah. Because one thing about the music industry, man, it's a lot of money out here.
Yeah.
You feel me? For
Yeah.
everybody.
For
So,
sure.
Yeah.
Booty Hole Brown. No.
Nah, hey, for real, man. Hey,
shout out my man. Shout out my man Cam. Shout out.
Get
shout
your
out
money,
Tay.
man. Get your money.
Get it, man. Get it, my whole dramatized fam.
Get your money, man.
Well, okay, so what do you like to do? What you like to do besides music, man? Like what you do outside of music? What's your thing?
I like to watch TV.
The new you. That you
To be honest, man, even like the new me, man, I'm not really a social person. So I like to, you feel me, watch TV, you know what I'm saying? Chill with my people, chill with my girl, chill with my kids, chill, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really do too much. Like, I like to relax because, like, life is so hectic already. So, like, I enjoy, I appreciate relaxation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll get out and enjoy it, but it's like, man, nothing like relaxing. Like, I love chilling. Like, to me, like, man, I can sit in the house and chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's enough hectic stuff in this world I gotta deal with. So, man, I like to relax. For real.
Producers signing producers. I know it's like a hot button topic in our world. Like, what's kind of your perspective on it? Like, cause I have my views, but like, what do you think is like some of the benefits, some of the negatives, like, you know, just from your perspective as TNT?
Man, it's like, I mean, I only really can speak for me though, cause like I know like me signing producers, like I want the producer to be Metro. Oh, I signed a producer that went crazy like that. That's something to be proud of. I've never been the type of person that was like want to hinder you or stop you. So like for me, it's like, man, if I sign you, like I know I'm in a position now, like, all right, bet I know I can offer you something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, if I feel like I can give you something that you may not be able to give yourself, because certain producers, like, you know, they send me loops, but they're in another country. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they probably can't get the reach that I can get. So it's like, I can help you. And if you become bigger than me, that's you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm proud of you, and it's like, you know, it's a business too. So it's like, I feel like, you know, like, if it's a producer, you know what I'm saying, that don't mind a producer getting bigger and that's going to like go to bat for the producer for sure.
Yeah, this is a good one, man. It's definitely been a good one, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate y'all,
TNT, the legend. Scroll through the catalog. I'm telling you, go to Genius, look him up, scroll through that vibe, man. That's culture right there.
Appreciate
like, definitely want you to understand that, you know, from what you were saying earlier, like you definitely have affected a lot of people's lives and touched the streets and touched the culture. And it don't got to be about billboards and top tens and all that. Like, you definitely left a major mark, and you still active.
Appreciate y'all,
you still got a long way to go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And the thing that you got to remember too, man, is you one of the producers who are on the, like, you, like, not to sound cliche, but you revolutionary to your group, to your set. You know what I mean? So I'm really into producers. I like, really like, you know what I mean, this shit. So
for sure.
You take like you come from the MPCs and the SR10s with the Kanyes and the Timberlands, and then you had the super producer era, and then you move forward, and then you got the internet era where people are the digital era where Fruity Loops came, and then there was a clash between those, and it was somebody had to open the door. You had the guys like Sounds and the Polo the Dons who remember Polo started working on a Nico. You know what I mean? When it was like, what is a Nico? Why are you working on a computer? You know what I mean? The computer doesn't have the sound. And it's a push. So it's always something new comes, and then it's a little pushback on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But one thing about you is you're one of the people who have kicked the door off the hinges and walked in without breaking a sweat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. From the internet, from that YouTube shit. You know what I mean? So
definitely,
as long as you keep moving forward, bro, and keep doing what you're doing and keep moving forward and keep moving the actual producer job forward, you know what I mean? I think all that other stuff, bro, is in your trajectory, bro. I think everything, all the old school stuff, is just you had to revolutionize and create a new way to get in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially coming from Sumter, you had to do it some way.
For sure, had to do it, man. I ain't gonna lie, man.
No doubt.
So now, you know what I mean? So what's next for you? What you feel like is next?
Man, like, I mean,
you want the trophy? Do you want a trophy? Do you want the Grammy? Do you care about a Grammy?
Man, I care about a Grammy. I mean, to me, it matters to me like to be able to say, man, come where I come from, man. I'm at the Grammys, like come where I come from, man. I got a top 10. I come. It mean a lot. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like so that's like, man, I'm working towards it, man, trying to get it.
There we go.
Like I ain't gonna say I know, you feel me, specifically how, but gonna make it happen.
Let's do it.
Nah, for sure.
Man, we appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, we gonna hold you.
Nah, I appreciate y'all, man.
Definitely, man.
For sure, man.
My guy.
Definitely, man.
Legend.
Appreciate y'all.
Man.
Young legend.
Nah,
You already
on the
know.
way.
Man.
Listen,
On the way.
This is Hidden Hands. This has been TNT, the legend. My guy Trav. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Hope y'all learned something, man.
You already know.
Hope y'all got some good gems, man.
What's up? It's your boy TNT. We are Hidden Hands with Trav and Cruz.